In this era of deep complexity,
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look,
beyond the edges of black or white.
I don't know what's wrong with you young people. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
It's time to be notionally accurate.
You're not telling the truth, Mr. Secretary. No disrespect, but that's just not true.
Here's your host, Captain Kirk.
Welcome one and all to the 11th episode of the Notionally Accurate podcast, produced live right here at the One Man's Burden Studios in my undisclosed compound, located atop the Andes mountainside in scenic Trenton, New Jersey. My name is Captain Kirk and I'll be your affable host. The Kamala-Trump debate seems like decades ago, but without a polling bump that follows a winning debate, we're at an apparent standstill. For the first time since she overthrew Biden via a coup, since debate night, Kamala's been ahead consistently in the bettors markets. Tracking betting markets is something I've advocated paying more attention to than the pollsters themselves. It doesn't help when the moderators admit they went into the debate to kneecap President Trump, as Linsey Davis of ABC conceded to the LA Times afterwards. Nor is it helpful when so-called fact-checkers claim that Harris only lied once that night. Sure. I was at one time excited for the upcoming Vance-Walz debate, one I think Vance can still succeed in. Now I'm looking for this election to simply wrap up. It doesn't help that the husband of one of the moderators of that debate apparently donated to anti-Trump hacks at the Lincoln Project. More on them later. At the rate they're trying to kill future President Trump, he'd be better off not debating anymore, since he's had attempts on his life twice after the first debate, and then after debating Harris. The latest assassination attempt occurred at President Trump's Florida golf course, allegedly carried out by a weirdo named Ryan Routh. Routh's Twitter feed, if it is indeed his, consists of an apparent initial support for Trump, then a descent into madness, best compared to the daily meltdown seen on a Midas Hutch podcast or any MSNBC show. The most interesting aspect of these attempted assassinations is that both the alleged July 13th shooter in Butler and the most recent gunman donated to Democrats with the same money funneling platform called ActBlue. I haven't seen much fact-checking from the usual suspects at PolitiFact or USA Today on the reports that accuse the platform of what can only be called money laundering, as hundreds of thousands of dollars from low-income blue-collar workers were made by folks who apparently were unaware these fake straw donations are even being made in their name. Yet, Routh's donations to Democrats is downplayed because, well, no real explanation for why the donations shouldn't be regarded as ever given. The recent alleged gunman tweeted about Tulsi Vec, and that's supposed to show he was an America First MAGA white supremacist. Yet, the alleged gunman apparently wrote a book begging Iran to kill President Trump, and espoused the belief that Ukraine needed help against Russia. So much so he traveled to the Eastern European country and spoke with a Romanian affiliate of Newsweek, among other outlets, about his intentions.
And what are you doing here in Ukraine?
My initial goal was to come and fight. I think everybody around the globe should be motivated to come here and support the Ukrainians and support the army, no matter what gender, age, anything. Everybody should be here supporting the army. But I'm 56, so initially they were like, well, I have no military experience, so they're like, you're not an ideal candidate. So they said, not right this minute. So plan B was to come here to Kyiv and promote getting more people here. We need thousands and thousands and thousands of people here fighting with the Ukrainians. We need, we've got 190 countries around the world, and we need thousands from all of them. If the governments will not send their official military, then we civilians have to pick up the torch and make this thing happen. And we've gotten some wonderful people here, but it's a small fraction of the number that should be here. If we have 5,000, to 10,000 people here fighting, that is just a minuscule amount of the 5 billion people on the globe. We need everyone here fighting. That's why I'm in Kyiv. So every project that I promote is about getting people here to support the Ukrainians. We were at a critical juncture in this war where we are sitting on the fence as far as whether good or evil is going to win. Right now we're looking at a situation where the world is waning in its thinking that this is important or not. And we're at a point where, all right, are we going to stand for humanity, for human rights, for everything that is good with the world? Or are we just going to ignore it? If everybody is complacent and doesn't join this fight, then guess who's going to win? It might take 10 years, but we're going to lose this battle if everyone around the globe does not stop what they're doing and get off the couch and come to Ukraine and defend the human rights of everyone around the globe.
We do know he apparently lived in Hawaii circa 2018, ran a shed building business, and could afford to live in that beautiful but pricey state. And wouldn't you know it, on his truck was a Biden-Harris bumper sticker. No shit. Routh's politics appear to be that of the Lincoln Project style, wherein alleged Republicans, rhinos, Republicans in name only, like George Conway, Steve Schmidt, and Rick Wilson, angry at President Trump, created a super PAC to conduct activities against America First GOP candidates, as well as President Trump, over a host of spurious accusations. The Lincoln Project infamously sent khaki pants and torch-wielding stooges to a Glenn Youngkin rally during the 2021 gubernatorial race in Virginia to pretend to be white supremacists, hoping to embarrass the GOP and get Democrat Terry McAuliffe elected.
Now, Stuart Stevens, a member of the Lincoln Project, defended the stunt in an interview with Chris Cuomo. Let's watch that.
Some people showed up at a Youngkin event posing as Charlottesville protesters. A group you're with, the Lincoln Project, owned that it was them, that they posed this way because they wanted people to remember. You're getting crushed by people on the right as a dirty tactic. Do you stand behind what was done, and is that being what you guys say you oppose?
No. Listen, every day I hear people pleading with the Lincoln Project to help show Democrats how to win, how to play hardball. This is an example. The question here is it's not about some guys who showed up at a rally. It's why hasn't Glenn Youngkin denounced Donald Trump for saying that there were good people on both sides? I mean, that is absolutely outrageous.
At least the Lincoln Project is being honest here, I suppose, that the best way to win is to deceive, because there should be no doubt that the group is embracing the dirtiest, most vile sort of tactics, actions that they claim caused them to leave the Republican Party and turn against Trump. I should note, to be completely clear, it's not actually been demonstrably proven that the Lincoln Project was behind this stunt. They might just be taking credit for it. But whether it was the Lincoln Project hiring Democratic activists or just Democratic activists on their own, it is abundantly clear that no one involved was an actual Republican or an actual white nationalist.
It thankfully backfired, and Glenn was elected governor that November. After January 6, 2021, it was reported that a co-founder named John Weaver, communicating with young male teens, offering them a job at the Lincoln Project in exchange for sexual favors, or ropes. But that sick behavior has an interesting tie-in with Ryan Routh's son, Orrin, who had defended his father's attempted assassination by saying it's what any reasonable person would do. You see, Orrin has a particular problem. He enjoys child pornography. Shortly after his father was arrested for an alleged attempted assassination, Orrin found himself arrested on charges of possession of child porn. What a f***ed-up family. The fact that Routh wasn't killed is beneficial in understanding what happened, since other alleged assassins like Lee Harvey Oswald are killed, as well as the alleged Butler shooter. Routh's going on trial for his attempt, and prosecutors have revealed that he wrote a note months ago detailing 1, his decree that what he was about to do was an attempted assassination, 2, a ledger of President Trump's campaign stops with dates and venues attached, and 3, a $150,000 bounty on President Trump's head, contained in a box that a witness came forward with. Who is this witness? No idea, so I'll be interested in finding out how they came across the box. Also note how differently the belongings of Routh, a would-be killer who didn't fire a shot, is treated versus the trans killer who shot down Christians at Covenant in Nashville, Tennessee. A lefty judge attempted to tamp down and censor of her manifesto that detailed why she did what they did, going so far as to provide copyright protection to the families of the victims and litigate against disclosure by a local newspaper, Tennessee Star, and its editor.
We've been trying to get these documents in court really since May of 2023, with no success. In June of 2024, we legally obtained these documents from a source familiar with the investigation, and we began writing stories about it. We didn't publish it at that time because there were some legal challenges that we had to take care of before we published it. We finally resolved those challenges to our satisfaction, and then we published all 90 pages of the journal she maintained for the last 3 months of her life, which she left in her vehicle and was recovered by Metro Nashville Police Department on the day of the murders.
Yet Routh, who again didn't fire a shot, has his letter, which called for a bounty on President Trump, sprayed out into the world for any crackpot to see. How the Routh trial and the attempted second assassination of President Trump will impact the race will be very fascinating to analyze. Anyway, thanks for listening to episode 10 of Notionally Accurate. I'm your host, Captain Kirk. More to come on future episodes. Find this podcast on SoundCloud, Rumble, and YouTube. Follow me on Twitter/X at NotionallyACC. That's at NotionallyACC. Email me at notionallyaccurate@protonmail.com. Take care, and remember, even if you can't be factually correct, you can always be notionally accurate.